to producers. Now we're heading down the dark path with some serious black metal here. Where are you on that kind of thing?
You want me to be honest about this, Bruce?
Dude, we're honest right from the beginning, right? That's the premise of
I
the
don't
show.
even get different metal genres. Like when somebody says black metal or doom metal or speed metal or, I don't know. Is it just metal? I don't know. I'm not a genre guy. So
So
explain to me what we're doing here. Like what is this band?
So these guys are from North Carolina, but they're sort of like a traditional black metal band, like the Norwegian kind of stuff.
So
Lots of screams, lots of blast beats, lots of.
explain black metal to me though in a way that I I don't like I don't know. I feel like an idiot, but I
I
want
tell
to
you what,
know.
we're gonna let the expert explain it to us in about 3 minutes from now when he gets on the line, because my understanding of it is just the different ways. It really kind of like thematically. You look at power metal, that's usually like dragons and swords and keyboards and high vocalist kind of shit.
Yeah.
And then death metal obviously is that chuggy chuggy double bass growling guttural thing.
Okay.
And then you've got that prog stuff, which I'm never a fan of, even though I'm thinking you probably are.
Prague?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of. You put prog in front of anything, and I'm not a fan of it. It just seems like an exercise in instrumental masturbation to me for no other reason than to just, hey, look at me, I can shred.
Yeah, like look at me, I'm jerking off my guitar.
Right, exactly.
I always said, like, in the 80s, guitar was just like the thing. Everyone had to have a fast guitar player, and it was like shredding. And then in the 90s, guitar became like passe, like, don't play guitar. No, we don't want guitar solos. But vocalists took that over, like the R&B vocalists and
Yes.
stuff. And I was just like, have we not had enough of this jerking off of the instrument? Can't you just play a song? Like,
See, you're 100% now. You're thinking the same thing I am.
yeah, I don't like it.
I'm not a fan, not even prog rock, and I understand like bands like Kansas and all that stuff. Super talented, yes, awesomely talented, but after a while, I don't know. I just want to enjoy myself.
Yeah, exactly. I want to listen to a song. Does it make me bang my head or not?
Right, and I don't want to have to be a calculus major to understand it,
Yeah, like I don't want to have
if
to.
that makes sense.
Yeah. The only band I can say that's kind of like out there, but not extremely technical. But Tool, they're always like their time signatures are all over the place, but they do it in an interesting way. It's not to like try and confuse you,
Right, who's that?
Tool.
Oh, dude, we've been like so on the same page for the last couple episodes. That's a band I don't get.
What?
I don't get them, and I know they got a new record coming out, and everybody's like got raging hard-ons for it, but it's not. I don't know. I don't get them. Maynard to me is, I don't know.
Wow.
I know.
Wow.
I'm sorry. You're probably gonna stop doing the podcast now.
That's
that
it.
I've said
I'm out. No, but I'll never forget. I can't remember the name of the record, but it had this really cool like cover on it, and the name was really weird too. No, I could never pronounce it. But at the time, there was this store in Vancouver called Future Shop, and you could go in there, and they had listening stations, so you could open up a CD and listen to the CD before you bought it.
Mm-hmm.
And I went in there and I listened to the Tool record the first time, and I was just like, "Oh my God, this is crazy." And I had heard the reason I did it is because the night before, I was at this bar called The Love Affair with Mike Kroger, who eventually became the bass player for Nickelback. Don't hate me. They're really nice
No,
guys.
not at all.
Nice guys.
And yeah,
But so we're sitting in there, and that song came on, and Mike was like, "Man, this song is so good. Oh my God, listen to the bass, listen to this, listen to that." And he was playing in a band with a friend of mine at the time. They hadn't even started Nickelback yet. But man, I was just like, I couldn't believe my ears. It was mind blowing.
yeah. I'm one of those odd people that just, I don't know. I don't get it.
Yeah,
But
to each their own.
yeah, whatever. So Josh is just sent me a message. He's ready to roll. Should we join him and see what we got?
Yeah. This
All
is
right.
Josh. How do I pronounce the band name?
Oculum Dei.
Oculum Dei. Okay.
Yeah, and it's Josh, and I'm going to get him on the line here. Let's
Awesome.
see. I think I like Messenger better than Skype, to be honest.
Yeah, I use them both all the time.
I never used Messenger until um, we did the one with Anders.
Oh, yeah.
All right, it says it's adding them to our chat. Let's see what we got here. Hey, Josh.
Hey, man.
What's going on, man?
Hey,
How
meet
you doing?
Chris.
I'm Chris.
Nice to meet you, buddy.
Nice to meet you, man.
How you doing, man?
Oh, man, it's Friday, dude.
It's Friday and it's too freaking early.
It's a little early, but I'm used to that.
You're down in North Carolina, right?
That's correct. Yes, sir.
All right, so welcome. We're gonna start right off, and I don't know how we're gonna do this, but Chris and I were just having a conversation. He's new to the metal scene, and kind of, Chris, you go ahead. You can explain yourself.
Yeah. So I got involved in metal in like 2011, basically, because some friends of mine started a metal cruise called 70,000 Tons of Metal. So I decided to go on the boat and check it out, and I became an instant metalhead. I just fell in love with it.
Nice.
And I've been like, I always liked harder rock. I came from like Motley Crue and Rat and all that hair metal stuff. And then through the grunge era, I liked heavier music, but I was never really into metal until I went on that cruise. So I don't really understand a lot of the stuff about metal. So if I seem a little uneducated, it's because I am.
Nothing wrong with that, man.
But since then, I built a software company, and we've helped. We built the drum set for Metallica for their live tour, all that kind of stuff. So,
Wow, awesome.
yeah, pretty cool.
So basically, I said all of that because Chris asked me right when we first logged on, how would you describe black metal as opposed to the other genres? And mine is not going to be anywhere near what I'm sure you could describe because you play it every day. So with that, have at it.
Black metal, it's a different. It's definitely it reaches out to a certain group of people. I'd say it's dark. It's meant to be dark. It's meant to be, evilish, so to say. Originally it was meant to be just an underground, like, secret, kept to themselves, and obviously it didn't get to stay that way. It's still to this day there is some artists that still try to keep it within their group, and doesn't really go out. But then, when you have bands like Dimmu Borgir or Karak Ongren who hit that next level, then obviously it doesn't get to stay underground. But it's just it's meant to be, anti, against a lot of things. Mainly religion.
Yeah.
That's the big one. But yeah, it's meant to be dark. It's not meant to be pretty. There's nothing pretty about it.
That's awesome.
So Josh, I'm going to jump in when they'll let Chris take over as he's after this. But how do you're a family guy. You're kind of a happy-go-lucky guy. How did you become involved in that sort of thing? And is there some weird like way you flip off the switch and all of a sudden you're like this angry dude, or?
Yeah, I mean it's funny because one of my favorite things is, and I hear it a lot, is like people know me who I am, and like you said, I mean my family is first. I'm a father of 3 kids, and my kids are number one in my life, and I am that friendly guy that do anything for anybody, and then I get on stage and I become a completely different person. And I've had many people come to the show that's been friends with me over years, and then they're like, they see me perform, and they're like, did not know you had that side. And I'm like, yeah, that's all the anger that I deal with life struggles. I put that into my art side of it.
Do you find it like sort of cathartic?
Yeah, it's a lot of it what's inside the band. We joke about how it's the face paint. It's like once we put on our outfit and we put on the paint, that light just switches, man. And we go into that. And I was exposed, obviously, to black metal in my youth. It was something that, I grew up with a father who was big into Alice Cooper, AC/DC, Black Sabbath, so Led Zeppelin. So I had a rock background, but he was also a bluegrass guy. So when I started listening to my youth, when I was listening to White Zombie and Marilyn Manson and stuff like that, he was like, "Oh no, what is this?" And then eventually I was able to discover black metal, you know, and at that time, internet was not in abundance. It was through magazines and stuff I was able to find it. And then I found out, like, you know, this is the style of music that I really like. I like the, I don't know, I guess the darkness side of things, man. I always look at, I guess I'm a Halloween guy on top of it, so it just kind of was fitting for me.
What were the first bands that you kind of discovered in black metal that really kind of lit the fire?
You know, it started, obviously everyone, you know, that's big into black metal will tell you, like, Mayhem or Burzum, which, you know, if you look at the history that goes around them, you know, I was a fan of those. But yeah, I mean, just the early stages of Dimmu Borgir and Dark Funeral were kind of the ones that really captured my attention. And I'll say this with ease because this particular band gets beat up. But Cradle of Filth, who now are like really big mainstream, they're not really so much black metal today. But if you go back to their early albums when they first started, they were their own style of black metal.
Yeah.
And so I also was a big fan of them back in the day. You know, today's Cradle of Filth is a lot different, so it's more to capturing the eye and getting more famous. So their music obviously evolved over years, and it's not as dark and you know, anti-religious as it used to be.
but you're not taking anything away from them because of their success, right? I mean,
oh no, I mean it's just like any band. Let's look at Metallica. You know, Metallica's changed over the years.
Yeah.
They sound nothing like Kill 'Em All today,
No.
right? So I know I don't. You know, I believe in. I listen to all styles of metal. You know, for instance, Whitechapel just came out with a new album, and the guy is singing. Yes, and the guy is singing clean vocals. And you know, I've had a little bit of Whitechapel throughout the years. Never really been a big fan, but then I hear this guy sing clean, and I'm like, wow, man, you should have did that years ago. But he evolved today, and it worked out. And then, you know, they definitely set the bar for their genre of music. So,
yeah.
No, hey, I don't oppose it. Yeah.
Going back to Burzum and the Mayhem stuff, what do you think of Lords of Chaos?
You know, I had to watch because it was one of those, coming from a guy that grew up listening to black metal, I went in it with an open mind. You know, a lot of people can be very, I don't know how to put it, like, they just want to stick to the true meaning of black metal. So they're like anti-anything, you know, like bands like Dimmu Borgir and stuff. So I went in with an open mind. I didn't hate the film. You know, I thought it gave a nice little touch of story. You know, will I own it? Maybe not. But, I mean, it did tell some things that basically anybody that knows that story, it basically just kind of told the story again. So, but it was just, I mean, for a visual aspect, I mean, I liked it for a visual aspect for sure.
I liked it because it brought black metal, and I'm not the biggest black metal fan. I appreciate it for some of it, but I liked it because it brought it to the mainstream, however mainstream it was. I mean, there was still maybe only 10 people in the theater, but still mainstream.
Exactly. Yeah, no, I mean, and that was fun because for our style of music to actually have that chance to be there, that was kind of like, hey, this is kind of cool. Because, you know, it will help expose people. And some people in the community would probably say, hey, man, that's not cool because now we're not so underground. Now this film come out. Now that's, you know, I'm not with that, man. You know, it's whatever, dude. Because, I mean, to me, yeah, it opens up the eyes for more people to look for more bands. And one day they may discover us through that as well. So
right.
I'm not against it at all.
So I'm not looking to hog the mic, and I'll give it to Chris in a second. But, I mean, the reason you're making music is not so nobody hears it, you're playing it in your basement, right? I mean, you're making music for people to hear. Exactly. So it's kind of like opposite of each other, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's totally it, man. I mean, we, at this point where we're at in our career, you know, we get airplay over in the UK, Europe, all over Europe. So, yeah, that's exciting, man, for people to hear our music, and they're nowhere from North Carolina.
Right. Are you getting hate mail? Are you getting hate mail from the true Norwegian fans?
You know, and that's the funny thing, man. We were super nervous about that, you know, because American black metal is still too many of us that's been able to achieve that bar of going nationwide. So we our album was sent out, and I know you had received it as well for reviews and stuff. And I'll be honest with you, like, we got a lot of love from over there. There was only one writer, and I won't say his name or nothing, but he was from Russia. He hated us, but he also just hated American black metal in general, and he stated that in his, response. He had nothing good to say, and hey, everyone's open to their own opinion, and we're cool with that because we take that in anyway. But we actually received a lot of good love from over there, and that was the point that, excited us, set more of a fire, because we're like, hey, if they accepted us, we obviously got to go there, and that's where we want to go.
Nice. All right, Chris, I'm done hogging it. Go ahead.
Hey, that's cool. So how are you going to go to Europe? Are you any plans to tour in Europe?
That is the plan. Our first out of the States tour is going to come up spring of next year. We're going over to Mexico.
Oh, cool.
That one's in the works right now, putting it all together. Europe is definitely, like, hindsight 2020. It's going to happen, whether it's on their own funds or possibly a record label, but we're definitely got that in mind. That's where we're going to go.
Yeah. I imagine it's not easy to, like, leave the States and get all the visa work and all the legal work that has to be taken care of, plus
Exactly.
booking shows and all that stuff. It's got to be tough. I mean,
yeah, even with our Mexico stuff, man, we're having to rent gear over there, and everything gets a little pricey.
Yeah. Until you hit a certain point where you can store gear in each place, you gotta.
Right.
Where do you get the back line?
That's it.
Awesome.
I've
heard from a lot of people that Mexican fans are pretty crazy when it comes to the more extreme metal stuff. So that should be great.
Oh man, our bassist is from Mexico City as well, and he's got a lot of support from over there as well. And just even outside of that, we get a lot of love from there, and people have been asking us to come, and so yeah, we heard it, and we're like, hey, we're coming, we're gonna make it happen. So yeah, we're excited to get to go over there and perform.
Right. Nice.
Cool. So I'm kind of new to the east part of the United States, and one thing I noticed when I moved here is that metal is way more popular than it is out west. Why do you think that is?
I don't know, man. It's metal itself. It speaks to a lot of people. A lot of people think that doesn't really listen to metal. They look at the crazy footage of people moshing, and it looks violent. We get beat up as we're violent musicians, we're violent people, and it's like then like you said, you meet me, and it's like, hey man, you need help with something? I got you.
Right.
But it's just a big community of helping one another, and I think some reason down here, everyone just kind of connects to that level. They understand that, so it just keeps growing and growing. Even for us being what we are, we're essentially in what you call the Southern Bible Belt. So about every 3 streets is a church.
Yeah.
And there's a
Suits
lot of
well
other
with the
countries
band.
that are starting to shut down. They're shutting down black metal shows and stuff. That's not happened to us yet. We've been asked that many times. Like, have you been shut down by a church yet? No, we haven't. But we're also not trying to set churches on fire.
Right.
We're keeping. We keep to ourselves. We're just performers.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's just a big community of people helping one another, man. And I think it's just growing and growing over the years.
It's amazing. It blew my mind. Like I'm in DC, and I came from Vancouver, Canada, and
Okay.
which has there's a metal scene around there.
Yeah.
But it's not like, if there's a metal show, there might be 50 to 100 people go, maybe,
Right.
unless it's a bigger band. But out here, I mean, it's just all over the place. I couldn't believe it,
Right. Yeah.
So
in the area that we're at, there's like metal shows every weekend, and like some shows you might only have that 30 or so people, and then I've been to some local shows supporting other friends and stuff, or even our own, and it's a packed house, and everyone's just having a blast, man. It's like a party.
yeah, I bet. One thing I really like that you said is that, it's like a family, and,
Right.
they take care of each other. And this is something when Bruce and I started this podcast, he was like, so what got you into this? And I told him, well, when I first experienced it, I was expecting insanity. But what I found was a family and people that were, like they might beat you up in the pit, but they'll make sure they buy you a few beers afterwards, and it'll
totally, man.
It's totally cool.
And you're looking at every ethnic group, every religious group, every whatever. You're all moshing, banging each other around, and then it's a hand of a different color picking you right up out of the pit and buying you a beer.
Yeah,
that's it, man. I'll tell you a quick funny story. We opened up for Aborted, Cryptopsy, and Hideous Affinity a few weeks ago. And our merch table, we have a full-size mannequin, and she wears her T-shirt, all of her gear. She has corpse paint on her. Like you'll see pictures flying around of this lady, and people freak out because she looks real. People come up, take pictures with her. Well, we had finished her set. I was sitting hanging back at the merch table, and Cryptopsy went on. Mosh pit broke out. They landed into her mannequin. She went in like 80 different pieces. All like stuff on my merch table went flying. I mean, of course, I'm laughing. I'm having a great time.
Right.
And I'm putting her back together. I get her back together because her body parts are floating around the mosh pit. So I get her all back together, and I'm like, cool, let's keep it going. 2 songs later, boom, she gets knocked out again. Well, these group of guys, had never met these guys in my life. They see me back there, and they're like, oh, he needs some help. And these were some big dudes. They were probably like mid-20s or something. But let me tell you, man, I'm a big dude too. I would not have picked a fight with one of them because you would have had all 4 of them. Because they were massive dudes. They see this, and they build a wall to block the merch table and save the mannequin.
Nice.
And, I gave them all free merch after the show. I was like, man, thank you, because I was getting to the point of just about to put the mannequin up because it was fun, but it was like, man, here goes my mannequin flying again. So,
Hashtag save the mannequin.
Like we talked about, never met these guys before. Obviously they became fans of ours too. By the end, because that's the first time they had ever seen us play.
Right.
But yeah, they totally just jumped in, helped me out, and I was like, hey man, appreciate that.
That's cool.
And speaking to that brotherhood thing, I've been on the boat that Chris was just referencing, 70,000 tons, and I met people, and after the second day, they're like, hey, if you get out to Vakken or Wacken or however you pronounce it, come stay at my place. So we got dinner. Or like, holy crap, I never met these people in my life before, but the riff connects everybody.
Right. It is. It's amazing. Even us opening up for guys like those, man, some of them have even friended me from their personal accounts on social media. They say hey, or they'll comment on something, and it's like it's just all open. Everyone's cool with each other, man. We all help each other.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. So I was reading your Bandcamp profile earlier, and it talks about how you guys recorded your own record. How did you go about doing that?
It was actually everyone in this band outside of the newest member, which we're about to be announcing in a couple of weeks, are fathers. We're all family men, so we have our personal lives that we have to handle too. So it was come down to a money aspect. How can we put money into our show stuff? Because we invested a lot into our show performance, but we also wanted to have a good recording. When it comes to black metal, one of the things that's known about black metal is this raw, just throw a microphone in a room, record it. There's people that love that, and there's people that want the clarity. We were kind of a mix, because we're like, we want to stay true to the roots, but at the same time, in today's world, we wanted to have clarity.
Yeah.
Because we knew when we were going to come out that we were going to have this, push to have this on radios nationwide. So we're like, let's go with the clarity form. And it came down to, hey, we're going to have to spend some money on the gear and the programs. We did have help. In the end, we recorded everything ourselves, one by one. We all wrote in the room. We recorded in the room. And when we were done, we sent to Big Spoon Productions, which is in Charlotte. And we basically just had them put a master cleanup on it. And,
cool.
Get it to the clarity that it is.
So, what software did you guys use? Did you go with Pro Tools or Logic or Reaper, or what did you go with?
I'm going to get beat for this one because I wasn't in control of the program. If I remember, I want to think it may have been Logic. But yeah, I just was there for that part. I didn't, they don't allow me to control the computer on that part. It was like, it is like, you handle the social media stuff, we'll handle this part. So I'll get beat up for that one.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I'm an engineer, so I always ask the geek questions, you know.
Right.
I sit in front of Pro Tools all day, every day, so I'm always like...
Yeah, and I've been familiar with Pro Tools, but like I said, yeah, I'm not allowed to touch that part.
Yeah.
There you go. You said something that I absolutely love, and Chris and I have asked many people when we do these conversations. You guys actually got in the room and wrote and banged things off each other as opposed to just emailing riffs?
Yeah, exactly. We, in the initial startup, we've been through a few different member changes. So the album you're hearing was myself, Tenebris, and Camulus. And I wrote guitar, Camulus wrote guitar, and Tenebris wrote guitar. Then bass lines was mainly Tenebris there. And then drum program, we kind of all, hey, I hear this, boom, boom, boom. Yeah, there was no distance in it. That's one of the reasons, too, I think it took us a little while, because we kept beating ourselves up. I don't like that. Scratch that. Let's go back and let's do it for another week.
In the end, though. Sorry, go ahead.
In the end, we came out with things that I don't think we knew was going to come out. And the idea, because, I mean, some of these songs, there's guitar parts that we all three wrote and made into 8 songs, you know. And then we did have some guest keyboard work on one of the tracks, and a lady vocalist as well, you know, and they got sent the tracks to listen to, and then sent what they did, and then the lady actually came into the band room and she recorded her vocals with us.
In the end, I think that makes it so much more organic, and I think you can hear the difference rather. And I know some people are, you know, in Tasmania and in LA, and they have to do it that way.
Right.
But I think the old school way of, hey, let's bang this shit off each other works so much better.
Exactly, you know, and even though this album is still new, we had a lot more ideas. And now there's more members in the band, so now we're starting to work on new material because we're getting prepped after our shows this year. We're going to go back and start the next album. So we've already been bouncing ideas, and once again, we're all together shooting these ideas back and forth, and, you know, and one of the new members, he comes up with ideas, and he is shooting it to us like, hey, check this out. But then again, when we start writing, we will be together on that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, I like it. I like it that way too. It's a little bit more, because that way you can sit there and argue with each other like, hey man, I don't like that. Get that out of here.
Yeah, you're a jackass. Remove that.
Right. And I'll tell you off the get, man, we're all assholes in this band to each other.
Yep.
That's band life.
We are very brutally honest with you. We don't hold anything back, man, and no one gets their feelings hurt either, which is what makes it great, you know. Somebody, you know, even my wife, like, she could hear the things we say to her. She's like, that was not nice.
But nobody's crying on the way out the door. Right, everybody's fine.
No. And if you get mad, you brush it off an hour later and we talk about something fun. No one ever takes it offensive. No. Here's
a beer and get over it.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Right. Anything else, Chris?
Yeah, here's a question. So you guys are both dads. I'm not a dad. I have a dog, but I'm not a dad. And you're both metalheads. So how do you approach metal to younger children as you raise them up? Like what, like, I'm sure that it's come across from other people's viewpoints. And to me, I would just, if I had a kid, I would just like, it's metal. This is metal. But like from an outside perspective, from people that don't know you, maybe you're driving down the street with your windows down and you're blasting black metal and your 4-year-old kid's in the seat. And it's like, you know,
that's me.
And the church, you know, like how do you approach that?
I mean, for me, I have 3 kids, all 3 different ages. I have a 6-year-old son, a 10-year-old son, and then a soon-to-be 14-year-old daughter. You know, I like music in a whole, so I don't oppose against music at all, any types, because I essentially just love music. I listen to a lot of things outside of metal.
Sure.
So, you know, my daughter, she pretty much likes hip-hop and stuff, and that's fine. If that's what she likes, I'm cool with it. But I have got her listening to Queen, so I'm proud of that.
It's a proud dad moment.
Right. Now, you go to my 10-year-old son who is not big into music. He's okay with it. Now, he actually comes to my shows. He loves to watch me perform. One of his favorite bands is El Yvette, if you ever listen to them.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of pipes and stuff. Now, he loves them. But, he's just kind of like, I'd rather have video games. Then you go to my 6-year-old son, who will probably out headbang about every person in a room. He loves hearing me sing. And he loves it. He'd be like, "Daddy, put something on," and we're in the car, and he's back there just headbanging in town, So it's one of those, and I do try to watch vulgar language around them. So I try to play bands, especially around the 6-year-old,
Yeah.
things that he's not going to go repeat.
Yeah.
I'm 100% with you.
Right, because he tries to mimic the way I sing, and I'm like, well, we can't listen to that track by Daddy.
Skip. Right.
Right. But, it's one of them. I like for my kids to be, versatile with their music. So, and even him, too. Like, we just watched this Spider-Man Into Spider-Verse movie. He loved
the tracks by them. And, sorry, I lost my Bluetooth connection. But he made me listen to that soundtrack the other day on the way to school, and he was back there rapping too. So it's
right.
Just try to keep them all, let them listen to what they want. But I do try to watch how much profanity is in their music.
Cool. Yeah, and to answer your question, Chris, that's what I do too. I've always kind of filtered it. I know what's coming up, so it's skip on a Whitechapel record if I know the F-bombs are coming. And then, eventually now he's 15, or now he's 16, and he hears worse in school than he does on the record, so we're okay. But at the 6 to 12 range, I definitely was doing exactly what you're doing, just kind of filtering it out.
Well, I know when we went to the Slayer show, you brought him, and I was just like, oh, my dad, like when I was a kid, if my dad was into Slayer, there's no way, I would have been able to go.
I used to beg my father to take me to concerts, and he'd be like, I don't know, And back in the day when Ozfest was running, I would beg, and I'm like, but Dad, you're the one that showed me Ozzy. Let's go. He would never take me. So that's one thing I do is I do take my kids to concerts. I let them have that experience, something I didn't have, and I let them see, and just like my daughter, like she don't really listen to metal. So I've been to a lot of concerts that totally outside of my realm, and I'm like, I totally look like the dad here because I do not fit in the big label around here, But hey, that's what she loves, and I'm gonna take her, let her listen to what she loves.
Beautiful.
There you go. Anything else, Chris?
No, I'm good. I really appreciate your candor with us. It's amazing.
I appreciate it. I've had fun doing this. Thank you for having me.
I figured we'd get you sooner or later. I know we kept trying to plan it, so we finally got it down.
Right. No problem at all, man. You guys are busy too. I understand that completely.
So thank you for taking the time. I appreciate it. Can I get a bumper from you before you go?
Yeah.
You're Josh from Band Name, and you're listening to the Brutally Delicious podcast.
All right. This is Zebu, also known as mortal name Josh Croom from Oculum Dei. Black metal helen from North Carolina, and you're listening to Brutally Delicious podcast.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate your time.
Oh,
thank you.
1 second. I have one more thing.
Good.
If we were to tell people to listen to one of your songs, where do we go get it? And what song should we play or even have people check out?
Right on. We just launched our website, oculumdei.net. But we are found on all platforms, Spotify, Apple, iTunes, Bandcamp, YouTube. We have 3 music videos on YouTube. We're about to release the 4th. If I was to tell you my favorite song, it would be the title of the album, which is Dreams of Desire and Torment.
Okay.
Happy listening.
Yeah, that one is it shows a little bit how we can down tempo and we can increase the tempo. It gives you a little bit of mix instead of just a full blast beat the whole time.
Cool. Thanks, man.
All right.
Thank you.
That's it, Chris?
That's it.
All right, man. Josh, I appreciate it.
Cheers.
Hey, guys. I appreciate it.
I'll let you know when it's up, and we're always in touch anyway, so thanks again.
Thank you.
We'll see you later. Bye.
Take care, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
You there?
I'm here.
Dude, I don't know what's going on, but there's I mow my lawn every Friday,
Yeah.
and there's a fucking lawn crew mowing it right now. I'm not sure who paid to have a lawn crew doing it, but there's 4. Can you hear that over the mic?
Not really, no.
Okay, I got scared because in the middle of the interview, I looked out the window and there's 4 guys mowing my lawn and cutting my bushes. Not me. It's on my list of things to do today.
Yeah, I think I'm going to be able to do mine today, too. It's supposed to be raining all day, but it looks like
I was going to try and do it after this thing. How do you think that went?
Great, man. What a nice guy.
Super guy, right?
Yeah. Super nice.
Yeah, that was good stuff.
I like the fact he explained black metal to me. Now I get it.
That's what I was going to say, and you got your definition of black metal, so.
Yeah. Hey, what kind of guitar is that?
It's an old Area Pro.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, my son plays it every once in a while. Zach, you never met Zach, but when he was younger, well, he still plays, but now he just plays acoustic.
Yeah.
He's got a Taylor.
Nice.
Yeah, whatever. So I think, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I think he sold all his. He used to have an SG. He used to be into the more metal stuff. Now he just plays the singer-songwriter thing.
Yeah, cool. In this edit, remove the part where I talk about the Metallica stuff. We can't. I'm not allowed to.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I'm not allowed to say that. I don't know. I was just talking, and then I was like, "What the fuck did I just say?"
Yeah, no worries. We can get that out.
Yeah, just yeah,
absolutely. But otherwise, I think it went well, right?
I think it went really well, man. It was. This is such a cool experience.
Well, good. I'm glad you're digging it.
I'm meeting all these people that I would have never met before.
Right.
And having conversations about music.
And then when you listen to these guys,
oh my God,
I think it's the best thing in the world, the contradiction. I love it because you put on that song, Dreams of Desire and Torment, and then you talk to him or you look at him and he's the nicest guy in the world, but boy, he's ready to tear your head off in the tune there. It's kind of different.
Oh yeah, I went to their Bandcamp and I hit play on the first song and it's all about how religion is tearing down the world and blah, blah, blah. Which, I mean, I'm not a religious guy per se, but, it's just okay, whatever. But right. Then you talk to him and he's just man, I want to give you a hug over the internet, It's
it's awesome.
Yeah. So.
But that's, I think that went pretty well, and I'm really excited about how many viewers or listeners or whatever the SoundCloud has. It's taken off way more than I thought it was going to be. It's pretty wild.
Yeah, it's good. It's great. So.
Well, cool, man. Let's just do a quick little intro, and we'll kill this one, and you can go do your lawn. And I'm going to go watch these guys mow mine.
All right.
Hey, you're listening to the wait, you were laughing. Hey, you're listening to the Brutally Delicious podcast. I'm Bruce.
I'm Chris.
And today we've got Josh Croom from Oculum Dei.
Right.
That works out perfect. All right, dude. What do you got for the weekend?
I don't know. I got right now I'm working on using the Facebook Pixel, integrating into the website for advertising purposes. I'm working on a pretty groundbreaking product right now, but in order to do it, I need the money to do it. So I need to generate revenue to pull it off. But I've partnered up with a company out of LA, microphone company, and so I'm working night and day to try and make this work out. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I was thinking, you said, how can we make money off this? And what we really need to do is just get a huge following and then
advertisers
and then sponsors. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, 600 people overnight is pretty good on the...
Can't beat that. That's great.
No, I don't even know where those people come from, so that's great.
I don't even know either. I mean, I'll take it, though.
Right. 2 schmucks just talking about metal, but whatever it is.
I'll take it.
I'll take it for sure. All right, man. You have a good weekend.
Yeah, you too. Have fun watching.
Are you cool if we set one up for next week sometime?
What's that?
You cool if I set something up for next week?
Please do.
All right. I'll send you an email.
Cheers.
All right. Be well. Cheers.
Hello out there. Yes, hello out there, everyone. I'm Hal Schwartz.
And I'm Flynn McLean. Together we host None But the Brave, a podcast dedicated to the music and career of Bruce Springsteen.
Bruce and E Street Band are on tour right now for the first time in 6 years, and we're taking a detailed look at what's happening on stage in our bi-weekly episodes.
We've also been recently joined by some very exciting guests, including rock journalist Warren Zanes and Stephen Hayden, Backstreet's Magazine founder Charles Cross, and Barstool's Kirk Minahan.
If you're a diehard Springsteen fan, this is the show for you.
So please subscribe to None But the Brave on your favorite podcasting platform, and we hope to see you further on up the road.
Thank you so much. We'll be seeing you.